Okay, so I'm going to try this again. Long day. Got up a little after 3. Couldn't sleep. Then 4:45, the calls to prayer. And then the sun and the birds. And so, anyway. So let me see if I can talk about a couple of things. One, I want to talk about security because it was front and center today. Not in a bad way. We were never in any danger or anything like that, but just that was highlighted for me. So when I took the cab to the Landmark Hotel, I think I told you that there's a barricade there. Well, it's a great big steel barricade. The guard comes out of the guardhouse, and before the barricade goes down, he swabs the steering wheel and checks it for trace elements. He checks under the car for explosives. Then the steel door goes down, and the car goes up to the door, but not close to the door at all. I go through the metal detectors. So there's that. While we were driving to Camp Zottery, we were stopped a number of times by military who had all different questions. At the gate, they didn't think that. One guy questioned whether or not we were really a bus full of foreigners because there were women in hijabs. So, what that says is that if you're a Muslim in America, chances are high you're going to be profiled. And if you're an American Muslim in Jordan, you might be profiled. So talk about life not being fair. But they were nice. But when you get there, you're not allowed to take pictures because it's a military compound. And there's like I said, the huge wall, the barbed wire, the great big trench. But there's also armored vehicles by the gate and guards. And so you're really aware that security is important. Before we left, we got our supplies. There's a big pharmacy because that's a SAMS pharmacy. Because, as I said, there's 20 sites. There's 24 surgeries scheduled. Yesterday, just to give you an example, just peds alone, the doctor saw, I think, 37 patients, and the physician assistant 40 patients, and that's just the one specialty. So lots and lots of activity. They go through the supplies so quick. And this is a place that needs, there are people who have been here for 4 years and have not seen a doctor, and so this is critical stuff. I worked with Dr. Hines today. She's the psychiatrist, and we had a translator, and we worked in our clinic. Was also the break room, so that means that people still think it's the break room. So while we're doing sessions and people are falling apart telling us their stories, people kept coming in looking for water or coffee or something, and it was an adjustment that we had to make, but the residents are used to it, so it was just more distracting for us. Lots and lots of stories of multiple sustained exposure to trauma and loss. I don't know if I've talked to anyone who's been lucky enough to just have one trauma and one loss. And so, very humbling, very touching, and yet these are resilient people, and it would not serve them well for me to feel sorry for them. Empathize, yes. Want to advocate for help and power, yes. But feel sorry for them, that would be insulting to what they're going through. Anyway, so we worked with people who were children to the very elderly. It was powerful, deeply moving, and for just a range of different symptoms. And so I'm really glad I'm here. It's difficult work. It's exhausting work. But that's true for everybody here. But it's vital, and it's good to feel that you're part of something positive in a part of the world that's just suffering. So I like that. In terms of transportation, when I was leaving Hallmark to come to Cindy Hostel tonight, the hill across the street from the hotel had a huge flock of sheep that had big, hanging down ears and long hair or wool, and they're just chomping on the grass. They're the grass cutters, and they're led by a mule. And all I kept thinking was, yes, this is the capital city of a kingdom, and this is the diplomatic corridor, and there's the flag of sheep. And so that was kind of interesting. I'm loving the people I'm working with. They're people who have worked all over the world for all different humanitarian causes, and the earthquake in Nepal, and well, just so many things, and so many specialties. I'm meeting photographers and journalists, and it's really cool. I like our team a whole lot. This is difficult work. One of the things that I was really struck by, I mentioned it yesterday, was the children are clearly malnourished. They are so small, and so I could be talking to a teenager and think that they're 8 years old. Just really tiny, young. I mean, that's true. I've talked to adults that I didn't realize they were adults. And, there's just a real limited amount of protein in their diets. And so they look very, very young, and they have lots of energy, and they're physically intrusive for attention, but, because they just really need the attention. And so you think of them as younger than they are, but from their forehead to their mouth, when you start talking to them one-to-one about what they've gone through, you see them age really quickly. They're old beings in a young body. They're often referred to as children without a childhood, and you see that the young kids who step up to the plate and have to help with the parents earning money or take care of the kids so the parents can earn some meager money, and it's just difficult. The other thing I didn't realize is this camp is so huge, and I knew it was huge. It's, I think, 9 or 10 different sections, wards, and so we'll ask someone to come back and see us, in a day or two, and they can't because they've got their baby to take care of, and it's too far away. There are no cars. There are bikes, a couple of bikes. These are old, like Cuba 1950s Chevy old kind of bikes, hand-painted Schwinn's. And when you see the few bikes, it's men who are riding them. And so I wasn't prepared for the fact that that everybody lives in this camp, but it's so big that you can't easily get from one end to the other, especially if you're taking children. So that was a surprise. Anyway, so tomorrow I'll be working at the camp by myself. The psychiatrist and psychologist will be at another site, and then the next day I'll move on to my second site as well. So really difficult work, really good work. I'm glad I'm here. It's a long week. It punches you in the stomach a lot. But then you talk to people who are just so grateful that you're here. And you talk to people who do this kind of work for years and don't burn out. They just keep giving their best. And so it's hard, but also really uplifting. So that's all. That's my update for today. Take care. Bye.